Dang it, Ray Lou, quit moving around. It's like the game. We got little.
You got it. You got the reference.
Oh my god. We got little. Sorry, people.
You got it. You
I
got
was
the
too busy.
reference.
Oh my god. Did I start the right stream? Sorry, people.
You got it. You got the.
Wait, Paul, did I start the right stream?
Yes.
Okay. I forgot. I didn't even look. I just pressed go, and it could have totally been on some Ecamm thing. Oops.
The flow again.
Oh, we like flowing it twice in one day. Oh goodness. Yeah, I was.
Y'all
too
had a good
busy.
episode today.
Oh, you seen it?
Yeah, I was like listening while I was doing my hair and makeup.
Oh, that game was so much fun. Like Caleb was so about that workshop when they came back. But like I got to meet, Michael and his team, and it was super funny. Like they're really awesome. I think what they came up with as ways of doing this is better, and it's funny because Stephen asked the question, which was a valid question. Like why would you want to change it from traditional public speaking situation? Obviously, traditional public speaking education doesn't work because if you walk into a room and there's 100 people and you ask them how many people are comfortable, like public speaking, 20 might raise their hand, maybe more like 5, maybe more like 2.
Mm-hmm.
And so obviously traditional public speaking training isn't working because everybody still says like, I'm afraid to talk in public. I'm like, no, you're not. I've seen you at the grocery store bitching about shit. I've seen you with a tequila in you. Like, you're not afraid of public speaking. You just, be telling yourself that shit. Like nobody's
Yeah, well, I
really
want to like
afraid.
continue that conversation because I was thinking about one of our dear pals, our dear community members who I put her on the spot yesterday to record a little something, and she locked up, and it's stuff like she'll chit chat with us all the
Mm-hmm.
time about things, but then when the camera's on or when it's like a turns into performance, like who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
She likes to talk about quotes, and she's got the cutest smile in the world.
Oh yeah, we had this conversation a little bit yesterday. And what was so awesome was Katie wrote the damn questions. She knew what was coming. She pressed the go, and then she went, And I was like,
Yeah.
bruh, it is purely psychosomatic attic insane. Did the picture.
Yeah. Well, I would
Was it?
say the one that she got was kind of hard because she had to fabricate a product.
Oh, about a problem that people don't have.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like the thing that would have been easier for me because I have
Yeah,
whole
because you
entire diatribes of the shit people think that they have that they don't have. So it would have hit you or I with that. We would have went, oh, let's talk about imposter syndrome cure. Like we
yeah.
would have been ready
I've got
because
a cure. It's called kick your ass.
there you go. Because we are, and Paul said it was a great stram.
It was a great stram.
That's good, Paul. It was a great stram. Yo, that was really good. Yeah, okay, I'm cool with Squawk Boxing about that. Um,
Yeah. There's
I
there's some stuff
I
we
didn't
can
make my
cover.
video yet, but I will. I keep wanting to take them out of the package, but
What is it?
what has me scared is I got my new 4, and it's dope. It just fits better. It works better. The battery lasts long as hell.
Or a ring. Uh-huh.
Yeah, my Aura. And then there's no nubbins. It's smooth on the inside.
Yeah,
No
just
more.
that little dot on the bottom, right?
Yeah, no more dots. It's
No,
smooth
there's like
inside.
one little notch at the bottom to tell you
Oh
where the
yeah,
bottom is.
yeah. The notch is there, which is
But
cool
it's for the
because
outside.
it
Yeah.
doesn't press into your skin, so it's like a little skinnier. But it's
Hmm.
just gangster. But I'm like, this time I got the stealth version, and I'm like, I didn't want to scratch it up when I lifting the
I
weights.
see.
So I got these little slicklin bands, and they had purple, but it came with a whole bunch of ugly colors. And I was like, can I just get purple? Damn it, no. So you got to get
Yeah,
like a
I don't
bag of
need
10.
a whole outfit. You don't need a whole
But
wardrobe. You just need one.
this is cool, and I saw somebody wearing this when I was in Chicago. You just take it and you just throw it. I guess it's better to do it when you take the thing off your finger, dummy. But you just pop this on, find a little notch. It doesn't even have to be there. The notch is just there for you to know where you're at. But it just slips on, and then your thing is protected. And they got all kind of different myriad colors. They even have some that are shiny. So like if you wanted to have a gold looking outfit and you had a black ring, you can slip a gold cover on to go with your fit. Cause like when you're about to go out and hit the streets, and well, you have a gold aura, right?
Mine
You're
is silver this time. I didn't get the gold for
Oh, you
the
did get a
next
four
generation.
too. Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
because
gangster.
my other one died. So, and I was like, you know what? It's been on nonstop for like years. And I was like,
Wait, it
it's
it the
okay.
die it the die died.
It's the died.
So yeah, this is super cool. Like I have a little protector situation, and I'm like, I need to hurry up and make this damn video so I can put it on. Because yesterday I grabbed the doorknob and it went to gank, and I was a little worried. But I feel like the new coating is better than the old coating too. Like they have 4 years to like elevate their game, so they've definitely done some cool stuff with this thing. Charge is bigger, which I don't get, but it's all good in the hood.
I kind of get it because it sits because my little one would like flip
Oh
over if I
yeah,
didn't like have it sitting
yeah,
correctly.
yeah, and that's how you drop the ring on the floor. Because if the cable because
Hmm.
I vibrated cables, and so if the cable has more tension than the little base, you
Yeah,
put your ring on there and it go floop, and it go flying across the room,
yeah.
and or the cat would come and give it a little pap. Floop.
Dee, 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 dee,
All right, let's go. Let's go
dee.
to our little Notion document and get it. City Nation. It what it that is a pot calling the kettle burnt. Uh,
Picking on my spelling.
oh, I see. I see what Gretchen said. Ha ha ha. I wasn't talking about the spelling. I just thought it's funny because a lot of times when you're typing, it always comes out like that, and it was a live stream. I hate the fact that the computer can't make up its mind whether it's one word, two words, or hyphenated. And it'd be one thing if the industry couldn't make up their mind, the computer can't make up its mind. And no matter which way you spell it, it tells you all of them are wrong. And it's like in different apps in different situations. And I'm like, you know what? Everybody knows what me means. Just leave it alone. Stop trying to fix it. It doesn't need to be fixed. Okay. I need to notion. I'm gonna need a notion. Calamine lotion. When you start to mess around, set yourself free. Free your mind. Don't know what
I've
I.
been really like harping on this concept of intentionally doing things wrong. You know, like
Yes.
sometimes we talk about do it dirty, where it's like you're not ready, so just do it anyways, which is one thing. But like, let me intentionally do it wrong. I know how to do it right, but in the spirit of like, let's f around and find out, to like intentionally do things wrong and see what happens.
I don't. I like that. I like that. That is brilliant, actually, because what a good way to like shake the perfection thought process is don't try to do it perfect in the first place. Try to do it wrong.
Try to do it wrong.
I don't wear tight clothing, high heel shoes. It
Doot, doot,
doesn't
doot.
matter, and I'm prostitute. No, no, I like rap music. Wear hip hop clothes. It
All
doesn't
right, just spit
matter,
out
and I'm out
off the
selling
top of your head
no, no. Sorry.
a couple of reasons why someone should set themselves free on camera. Why they need to free their mind and Vogue. Let's go.
Set them free, set them free. Come on, with this private soul. Sorry, um, because okay. Ooh, I'm gonna get fired up.
Just
You
spit out
might.
just top of line ideas. Don't
Ooh,
get into details.
okay. Um, number one, at this moment in time, you really have no choice but to do video. So fighting it is probably the worst thing you can do. It's all at this point in time when it comes to business or whatever. Fighting video is like fighting oxygen
Next.
for sustainability. If you
Excellent.
if you don't do it, the person that you are most afraid of stealing your ideas or stealing your customers is going to do it, and guess what's going to happen? So you're squeezing onto an irrational fear.
Okay, next.
That's all I got because they're absolute.
That's all you got?
They're
Pineapple
absolute.
pizza.
They're absolute. I mean, those things are so absolute that they don't require much else. I mean, people will come up with other
Yeah.
crazy thoughts as to why they can't, but at the end of the day, the answers are still the same. You cannot
Okay.
do it. It's up to you. Knock yourself out. Don't
Yeah.
do it. But don't be
Okay.
mad or
Okay.
don't play victim card when you get smoked.
So
You've
that's
been
the whole
warned.
episode.
You've been warned.
You guys have been unstuck.
You know what I'm saying? Right? Ain't nothing to it but to do it. That's the answer. How about what was the question again?
Reasons why someone should endeavor to free themselves on camera.
Because not doing it doesn't serve you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So part of me is like, I'm thinking along the lines of presentational is overrated.
Facts.
I'm just brainstorming ideas. I'm just trying to hear. I'm looking for the threads.
Yeah. Pull them threads. Pull the threads.
Yeah, if anybody in the chat or in the backstage you got ideas, let me know. Why should someone? Because that comes up, right? Some people are like, I can't. Well, it's like, okay, well, if you can't, you can't. Maybe you don't know
because you
why
just
you should
said
be
you
doing
can't.
it.
Like, okay, this is gonna sound super stupid because every time I hear one of the I can't people, I'm like, you got kids? This is brutal. This is straight up brutal. You got kids? Yes. Let me hold the kid to gunpoint and see if you can. Because you can. You just don't want to. You don't want to because of some other irrational fear. But if I make the other fear bigger than this fear, oh, trust you me, you can do it. And
Okay.
I'm laughing
Here.
because I mentioned it in the thing. I posted it in our Slack to our people in coworkers. I found the video of the girl that I posted where the I don't even know how to describe this. The dude, it was supposed to be she's by herself. Stop. She's supposed to be by herself, but it said like the robber said, "Sing Sticky Fingers full verse or slammed or get robbed," and she did it. And I was just laughing. I'm a b-boy standing in my b-boy stance, and she just goes out the whole thing. It's like Onyx is underrated, but still undisputed. How would you like to walk a mile in my shoes? I get used and abused, but I refuse and abuse. I was like, yo, I could totally do that. Like, my house would be safe if somebody held me at gunpoint and told me to sing the lyrics to most songs. I would be good. And it's funny because, that same person would go to karaoke and sit there and try to read the screen. And I watch this all the time when I see people do karaoke. They know the words, but for whatever reason, they try to read the screen and it throws them off because a lot of times the words on the screen are just like not at the right beat or the right tempo or whatever. I was like, I've seen you in the car sing this song all the time with no help. Like, why are you looking at the screen? It's going to throw you off. Just face the audience and do your performance, right? It's the same thing. And so, yeah, that's why.
All right. Okay. All right. All right. So what we're going to do is bullet point 1, if you say you can't, you can't, you need to change your mindset. Bullet point 2, perfect and presentational is overrated. Bullet point 3 will be irrational fear tactics from the military / real deal drill sergeant.
Why?
Does that work for you?
Why I like it.
Yeah. So you can prep, I know. I like hearing when you go through those things. Because it's the stakes are different, right? But then when you've been in these experiences, which most people haven't,
The stakes is high.
we can translate this.
Yeah. Wait,
You know,
I'm texting this video to Jimmy to see if he can pass the test. Jimmy. Jimmy is Jimmy. The J, the I, the M, the M. Sorry. You know that song? My Buddy by De La Soul.
I think so.
Yeah, it's a good.
I think so. I think so.
Anyway, I'm gonna sidetrack James while he's waiting for us to get ready. I just thought the concept. See, this family. When I see people who make shorts that aren't biting some trend or doing something crazy, like I love it. And for her to have the idea that all of us have this one song that we know so well, and it's like our song that we get into it. We do the characterizations, we do the voices or whatever. For her to turn that into a skit on a reel, that was just brilliant. I always applaud the creators who come up with stuff like that because it's heavily relatable to any of us kids that grew up when that song was bumping. Cause it was a thing. Like that song would stop traffic, right? So the fact that she just created her own thing is not about chasing the trend. She's living in her personality of being a music dork. All of the above. I just thought that was just like hella epic. You know what I mean? So there's that. Raph, I was laughing the other day because, of course, when I was diving down my Da Vinci rabbit hole, I was, looking at the built-in tutorial that came from Blackmagic. I looked at the tutorials that came from, I have LinkedIn Learning because I have LinkedIn Pro or whatever, and they were kind of dumb. And then I was like, yo, I was watching a lot of videos from Chadwick. And then it dawned on me, Chadwick's in our Discord server. I could have just asked him the questions that I had. I was like, you're so dumb. The other day, Chad posted a video and it popped up like, Chad just posted a video. And I was like, you ding dong. I spent the whole 30 days like absorbing all of his stuff. And I could have just messaged him and be like, Chad, I got a question. What's up, Dan? Yeah. Oh, see, Jimmy, you just got into my head with Tony. Do you know what today is? It's our anniversary. Anniversary. They had like the dumbest song that is super popular. I freaking hated that. I freaking hated that song. Everybody would always request that. And I'm like, man, I'm in my De La Soul era. Why do I have to play Tony? It feels good. Yeah. Wait, I think Keith produced that song. Let me double check. I know he produced one of their songs. Produced it by oh no, it wasn't that. Right? I just saw that not that long ago. Did we do Casey and JoJo? Nice. Yeah, I don't know when I saw that, Joel, but I literally just saw that recently. It popped up in my feed. Dwayne. That was Raphael Sadiq. Was the other one? Oh, it was March. That's when he passed away. Oh my God. You did not.
Yes, I did.
Green Acres. Oh my God. That one used to get
It's the
stuck in
place
my
to
head
be.
so much. Green Acres is the place to be. Farm living is the life for me. Land stretching out so far and wide. You know why that song got stuck in my head? Because it came on TV right after like I was supposed to have gone to school. And so on the days where I was going to get to stay home, like if I saw Green Acres, I passed my mom, boy, you ain't sick test. And
Oh.
I remember, I don't know, I don't know if y'all remember this, but what you should do is put a penny. Is nasty. You should put a penny under the tongue on one side, and when your mom bring the thermometer, you put it on the other side. And for some reason, the penny would give the thermometer a slightly higher reading. And then so she was like, "Oh yeah, you got a fever, baby. You just go ahead and stay home." And then as soon as I hear the door shut, click click, and she on her way, it was like literally like 10 minutes after that, Green Acres would come on. So that's why I remember
It
that.
was your jam. I
That's why I
didn't
remember that song so
know.
much. Like, boy, you ain't sick. Take your ass to school. Oh my God. Anybody had any good tricks for getting out of school with your mama? Like, my mama wasn't about that life, so I had to figure out techniques. Sometimes she would leave the room. I'd take the thermometer out and like rub it, and stick it back in. Mama.
I sat on a pair of scissors one time. That worked.
Oh
Ow.
no.
Did you cut yourself?
I have a spot on one of my cheeks with a scar of 2 stitches where I got punctured.
Yo, I do
That's
not.
commitment.
I do not. Ooh. So funkified. I had the opportunity. I have a somewhere one of my friends has a tape of me and the brat freestyling at my club. I love her. She's one of the nicest people in the world. I used to hang out with them when we would go to LA. She is super cool. I love that. I get rough and tough with my afro pulse. Rage, rock on with your bad self. Kicking MCs like Arukin. The Lady of Rage and the Brat, two of my favorites. All right, let's go. It says sat on the scissors for fun and profit. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Are you
All right,
ready? You're always ready.
let's
So
chapstick it up. Jill was giving me crap yesterday about the way dudes put on chapstick versus the way girls put on chapstick. And I'm like, wait a minute. What the hell?
how are they different?
I don't know. Dudes, we hold it like
Oh.
this or like this. And girls, they do it like lipstick or something. Like, I don't know. I don't know what she said. I haven't seen the video. She said there's a whole video about it. See, like if you stayed home and your mom was a home mom, then that's not the same thing. You needed to be
Yeah,
like stay
you're
home
there
when
to
your mom
work.
was at work, so you can get out and just do crazy thing. Like I would separate the seeds out of my weed, take out the seeds and
He's like, I have
stems.
business to run.
Yeah, we pack up the
Gretchen, I
little
hope you're doing
baggies.
okay. I hope you're feeling better. Gretchen hurt her back.
Oh, dude, that's been me for the last week, yo. I just got a new heating pad from Amazon yesterday or day before. That son bitch is nice because I had the old plasticky one and it just didn't feel good. I was like, you know what? It's time to retire this piece of crap. And I got a new one from
Yeah.
Amazon and it's made out of like, is that velvet? Like it's soft. It feels like one of those blankets from the swap meet. And that joint get warm. And I was just like,
Yeah, good.
that's super good. And I'm like, yo, got to get a heat. That's when you know you're old when you need a heating pad. All right, let me move this out the way and move that over there, and we'll call it a day. I am ready. I'm gonna restart and start, start and start and start. I was like Snoop, SNOOP Snoop. Come on, window, do what you're supposed to do. Why you stupid? Why you blood clot stupid? Don't play with me, boy. You don't know nothing about we. All right, let's go. Man, I have this button on Moon, but it's not working for some reason. I have to reset my stuff. This computer needs a complete erase and reinstall. I got time this week. We might do that. Breathe it out. Start and stop the recording. Record the broadcasty. Count it down in 5.
We hear from our community, from our creators, often that you want to have a YouTube channel, you want to create content, but for some reason you're what you consider scared to talk on camera. And I want to know what that's about. Let's talk about it and let's get you unstuck.
Unstuck. I like this conversation. I like this conversation, and I often feel mean because I even mentioned it in the chat earlier today. You know, people like to talk about stage fright. I never had stage fright. I don't know why. I just never did. But I used to be like mad afraid. Like someone's like, "Hey, go over there and talk to so and so," and I'd be like, no, not doing it." Right? You know, typical 13-year-old boy type situation. But you know, going up to the front of the class and saying something or clowning or whatever, like I think maybe because I was pretty funny in school and I was kind of class clown, I think I was never scared because this sounds so weird to say out loud. I would have been considered one of the cool kids. So I think it's different when you come from, you know, you would have been considered like in a different light. Even in the dorky stuff, like I was the weird kid who got props from the nerds and the jocks because I was both. When everybody used to say you can't be both, and I was like, I have to be both because I'm an athlete, and if I don't get good grades, my mom would beat that ass. So I had no choice but to be a nerd and a jock. And then like all my jock friends would be like, "Oh, you such a bookworm and whatever." I'm like, say what you want, but my mom ain't gonna kick my ass because you got jokes. You know what I mean? And it wasn't even about saying it to my face or I'm gonna fight you or whatever. I wasn't thinking about them. I was thinking about Ma Dukes and them Knucks, cause Mom was a bare hand boxer. Pow! There was no timeout. There was no sit in the corner. Yo, you was catching fisticuffs if you didn't do straight. And so I think maybe I'm just guessing. The thing that throws people off is they do have some. I do seriously believe a lot of those memories come from school. Or I mean, we got live audience. How many people think that their fear came from school or getting picked on? Because I know when you're a littlein, right? Say, "Mary Lou, can I tell you something, Mary Lou? Did you know that the lobster scrap the store is used to have like, and it has eggs, and then it puts the eggs in the mountain, and then it flies away to go get like food and stuff, and then it comes back and it stores it, and when it gets cold, then they give the frozen, and then the babies grow, and they're like 17 feet long, and they have teeth the size of your forehead, and then the Velociraptor, like kids, shut the right." How do you go from that? Did you know the human head weigh 8 pounds to I need you to give out the quarterly report numbers and you walk to the front of the office and this quarter you have the sheets where's mine, like how do you go from the Velociraptor head weighs 8 pounds to you can't spit out the quarterly report? Where's the disconnect?
My theory is always, that somebody at some point told you to be quiet, right? So if you have it in your head, really think about it. Let us know in the comments who told you to stay quiet. Where was it that you were silenced? Because like if you were someone who was a chatty kid, you definitely, at some point they're like, if you grew up in the household that was kids should be seen and not heard, you were silenced.
Yeah.
Little girls should not be heard. We don't want to hear your opinion. Silenced. You're talking too much in class, right? And it's sometimes there's just boundaries that need to be built, right? Because you just talk so much without any guardrails, right? Because you're young, but at some point you probably were silenced, but not necessarily as a kid. But where did that happen?
Oh, I've gotten it, from quote unquote groups or cohorts, right? I don't. If you go to a cohort and everybody's being silent because they're afraid, and then you speak up, and then you try to push the conversation further, so you ask another question, and they don't speak up. So then you try to lead it again, and try. Eventually, some Captain Save a Hole mother freaker will stand up and be like, "Well, I feel like you're controlling the conversation." Yeah, because you ain't saying shit. If you feel that way, then you speak up. Then I ain't got nothing to say. You know what I mean? Like I've had to also reverse defend that because people be in their feelings about like, oh, somebody's trying to dominate the conversation. And of course, it always, this is just me. This is just reality, and I understand you are overcorrecting. It came from a girl the two times that it happened, and I'm like, because you're told that you're supposed to react that way, and you're reacting that way. But honestly, if anybody else had something to say, we wouldn't be in this position. They told us to come in here and in 20 minutes solve a problem, and ain't nobody got shit to say, and y'all all paid $1,000 to be here. You paid $1,000 to be here, and you still quiet? You heard? I'm getting my money's worth. So if it takes me to try to trigger the conversation and lead it, whatever. And I didn't clap back or whatever. I was like, I'm sorry you feel that way, but I wish everybody else would speak up because, we all paid to be here. So somebody come up with something else to say. And you know what happened after she said that? Still nobody said nothing. So I'm like, okay, so are we guiding the conversation or are we controlling the conversation? Now you go back in your little corner and I'm going to keep asking people questions until they learn to speak up for themselves. I mean, like, again, if we were in the Poseidon and it was sinking and we said, okay, everybody come up with a plan, there will always be the ones that will sit there and try to hide and just wait for somebody else to come up with the plan. But I'm like, we're going to die if you don't speak up. So I don't understand it. Like, I just don't. I try to be sympathetic about it, but I am a little bit zebra on this one. I'm a little bit black and white.
Because it's easier for people to criticize someone else's speaking up as opposed to being the criticized for speaking up. Right? So they're comfortable in the like, I could do it better, except you don't. Right? So when I was in improv classes, I often would be the first one up because I would stand up and I would like they give the suggestion, like you're in the line and like whoever gets the impulse goes up. And it's always very easy for me to be the first one up. Like I will just jump in if I have an idea. But like in trying to be respectful of other people, try not to do that every single scene. So I go up, suggestions there. I think fast, right? So I'm like, oh, this could go 100 different ways, and I'm not worried about it being right or wrong. We just need to start moving the train. I would count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. And if nobody else came out, then great. I'm starting the scene. And I would sometimes think like, wow, they think I'm dominating this too much. Like, and I would have mixed feelings about it. Like, is this good? Is this bad? I don't know. When I talk to people, they're like, oh, I'm so glad you do, because if they feel paralyzed, in a team, they're like, Mary Lou will always at least have an idea, right?
Right.
Like we do this show, right? It's like as a team, like we could just press record. We're going to figure it out. It's going to be fine. Not everybody can rock like that, but they have a different kind of experience.
They can. They just don't.
They haven't done it yet.
They haven't figured out what that thing is. First of all, I guarantee you it's 100% trust. Like, I trust that no matter how crazy or off the wall, left, right, circle, indifferent your idea is, we good with it because we have similar problems.
Yeah, but then it's like, it's also that it can be a discussion, right?
Yeah,
like you would
100%.
be willing to speak up, and then we'd have like, we don't always agree on things or agree on how they're being presented, but we can have a discussion about it.
Oh yeah, I so want to scream at you for watching tarot videos.
Yeah, and like that's none of your business.
Let me explain you something, mister. No, it's funny. My whole family is into that side of the thing. So, like, it's funny to me that, my sister, and then now you do the same thing, and it's just hilarious. But You know, DJ Rob said something in the chat, and I want to bring it up. I think he's correct, and we're in the same boat. So I went from class clown to musician, and then I'm dancer and DJ, like all of the above. So yeah, like I been in that performative mode. Like even after church, right? Mom them used to put on Michael Jackson, and then have us in the living room doing the. We had like you remember the Gong Show? You're too young. The old people know the Gong Show with Chuck Barris, and they used to go. It was like a talent show on TV, and you would do stuff, and if you sucked, they would bang the gong, and then you get kicked off. And you had this one dude who became famous, the unknown comic, and he was like one of the biggest acts ever. And all he did was come out with a paper bag on his head with the eyes cut out, and he would just say really dumb stuff. It's not even funny, but his mannerisms were so hilarious that like not only did he become one of the biggest acts, but he became like a whole like sort of meme. And a lot of things that we know today came from like the Gong Show. So we used to do that after church. And I think, you know, we were forced to perform in the living room from a young age. In the Filipino household, it's singing karaoke, right? You're forced to sing karaoke from a young age. So
No,
the
they took the mic out of my hand quick because they were
right.
like,
So
she was only half.
the idea of like doing that kind of performative stuff, we get it early on, you know, just in our family gatherings. So it's a little bit different, you know what I mean? So like again, you probably had it in you from something. I think the first time I ever got apprehension about it was I didn't want to wear my glasses in school because of being called Four Eyes, right? And when we used to have to read, you know, what's the one with the wolf? Oh my God, my brain just went dumb.
Little Red
Call of
Riding
the
Hood?
Wild. When we have to read
Oh.
Call of the Wild or Romeo and Juliet or something, and the words on the page would be doing this. You know what I mean? Anybody who's dyslexic will understand that. When the words on the page are like shuffling while you're trying to read, and then you become either the slow reader or the reader who would say all the time, like kids would clown you. And I think that's the first time I kind of became apprehensive of it. But my saving grace, even then, as a person who couldn't see what was on the board, like I used to have to get up to go to the board to read the board, was I could just turn around and be like, somebody say something, and we're going to deal with this at lunch. You know, and then I never got those comments. You know what I mean? Not everybody had that. You know, I don't think it's a superpower. I think it's really dumb that you should even have to do such a thing, but that was just the world we live in. I think it's still somewhat the world we live in. So I'm I'm not one. Something happened recently today. And recently today, that was really stupid. Something happened recently, and the person's like, "Well, I feel the person is, you know, doing this and this and this to be manipulative." And I was like, "Well, I don't take it that way because I've never been manipulated. You know what I mean? I've never been in a position where I have to even see that. Because if you've never been a nail, you're not afraid of hammers. You know, but I fully respect and understand someone who's been a nail because it's not their fault. 9 times out of 10, they got hammered unwillingly. And if they see things like that, it is, you know. There's definitely kids when you go to scratch your head and the kid ducks. That's me because my mom was quick with that hand. So it took me a while to get out of that. When somebody raised their hand by me, I would flinch a little bit because I was used to the rapid backhand in church for me doing something stupid.
Well, and if you grew up in big families, right? Or like you were around big groups or in like community where you saw people speaking and saw people being confident, then you might look at it differently than if you were like brought up in a environment where it's we just are quiet. We're just all quiet. We don't make noise, we're quiet. Right? So you didn't have anything modeled to show you that that was an okay way to be. Also, if I know that like Doc and I both have gone through many different environments growing up. So we've had the opportunity to kind of reset or like choose identities and kind of experiment with these things. Where some people like if you've grown up in the same environment the whole time and it was assigned to you at a young age that you need to be quiet and you don't ever get to practice or realize you don't need to live by their assignment to you. but that takes time and practice and intentional, like deliberate work.
I just realized the superpower of being a military brat is we get to fix our personality every time we PCS. Sorry, I won't use words that won't make sense. Uh, PCS is like a permanent change of station. Like you're going to go, like, say, from being stationed in New York to being stationed in, say, North Carolina. Your whole family packs everything up and then you leave. And then so if in New York you were known as the shy, quiet one, when you get to North Carolina, you're like, okay, I'm going to turn off shy and I'm going to just be the outgoing one, right? Or you could have seen something on TV and was like, yo, I wish I could be more Fonzarelli than Richie Cunningham. Okay, when I go to the next place, I'm gonna just come in leather jacket on the first day. I'm gonna be Fonzarelli. Somebody said,
Yeah.
"Hey," right? So I think I really do think that I developed my nerd slash Fonzarelli mentality from blending Richie and Fonzie together when we changed duty stations. Like, I didn't have to pick a side.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do both. That's crazy.
Yeah, I got to try something like, I went to 6 elementary schools. And I'm telling you,
Damn.
every
I
school I was
thought I
like,
was bad
let me
with
turn
three.
on a different thing.
Yeah.
And like I wouldn't have it any other way. A lot of people are like, wow, that's gotta been so, I was like, I don't know. Like it was just my reality. So like, is it hard? Is it easy? I don't know. Cause I don't know what the other side was like. I was fine with it because I got to see a lot and I can be thrown into any room and talk to people. Now, not everybody is like that. And then you take that and you translate it to your online presence, right? So now we're in front of a room of strangers that we can't even see, right? So there's the whole like, well, how am I going to be perceived? Or like, you can't even see the auditorium of people, right? It's not like, is it supportive people? Is it friendlies? Is it enemies? We don't know. But you take that with you. But here's the thing, like if you say you can't, right? This comes up all the time. And I've very much been in this realm. If you say it, it's true.
Facts.
Whatever you say is true. I'm not going to fight with you. I'm not going to fight with you because you are what you say you are. You are what you choose to be. If you're choosing to be scared on camera, okay.
Then you are. If you are what you say
But what can
you
you do to
are.
change your mindset? What can you do? Because we can't do it for you. Like we can talk about like our experiences and how things are different in our way of looking at things. So it is good to hear that, but like there's no amount of like tips and tricks that we can tell you that will change it if you don't change it.
You know, you just made me think of something as well. I just want to point out that it wasn't all sunshine being constantly picked up and rooted and derooted or whatever. I think that changed my relationship for a long time on building like close relationships with people because I was so used to having to change friends every 3 to 4 years, right? That's just a military brat situation. Until my dad, got ranked up enough that we wasn't going someplace. And I think that even manifests in now the ability to just have no fear of connecting with people or making friends on the internet or building a community like that is because there's less of fear of bringing in new people because I had no choice but to always bring in new people. But I also cling on to the good ones because I remember always getting them snatched when it was like, oh yeah, we're leaving. What the? What? We leaving? I just got good. Like, I just got it where everybody's, I do one of these and they would run. Like, what the heck you mean? Like, we leaving? So I think that's, sort of a trip. And so you're right. Like, the answer is still right because there were definitely kids who were in the same exact boat, but they took every leaving as an opportunity to go see a new adventure. There were kids that took every opportunity to leave, like my whole life is ruined. I got to start all over again. And there were the kids that rode the middle. Like it's not a roller coaster to them. They just sat in the middle and just lived everywhere. And so if you're a military brat, you tend to go to school around other military brats. And you saw how each one of them took it differently. and treated it differently. Like, and I used to admire the poor kids who just always seemed like they were fun and happy and whatever, because their family was like, "It is what it is. We're gonna run with it." And then there were the poor kids that seemed like everything was doom and gloom. Right? There's rich kids who everything is happy, and you're like, "Oh, they just must be happy because they got all this money." But then you saw the rich kids who are straight up miserable. Neither parent is home. They got everything they want. They got a giant empty house of themselves, all of these toys. But because they're parenting, they're like a-holes, so nobody wants to hang out with them. You know what I mean? Like it's a common Hollywood trope, but that happened in real life as well. And so what you said about what you say is true is so factual that even though we know better, and we all got our educations and went to school and run businesses, we still do that mess to this very day. We still do that mess to this very day. Which is why I still say it's very important that you wake up every single day, stare yourself in the mirror, and tell yourself you're a creator. You're not becoming a content creator, you are a creator. And you got to remind yourself that. Because you know what's hard not to do when you're a creator? Create.
So this came up in the chat, was the reason you should get comfortable on camera is because it's quicker to connect with people through video versus text, which sure. But then my question to those creators who, maybe are good at text, good at their newsletters, good at their blogs, but they're like, I feel like I should get on camera, but it's hard for me to do it. Then I'm like, you don't have to do it. And I think maybe sometimes that's the problem. It's like you feel like you have to. So now it's a chore versus it being just another resource, just another avenue.
Yeah. So you don't have
You don't
to
have to do anything. You don't
can
have
move
to have
the
a YouTube
US.
channel.
You can move to the US and you don't have to learn English. Your life will be absolutely harder if you don't. That's just the facts. If you move to Japan, you don't have to learn Japanese. But your life will be harder if you don't. Not speaking video in 2026 makes you an ESOL student. ESL for the newer people. Old school, we called it ESOL, English as a second language or something like that. They just say ESL now. And so imagine being a student of the United States and you don't speak English. I'm going to tell you right now, you don't have to do video. Don't get it twisted. But if you don't speak video in 2026, you are now an ESOL student or ESL student, period. I heard somebody say that the other day, and I was like, it's a dumb analogy, but it's so factual, and I think everybody understands it because we all went to school and we all had the ESL kids, or we were the ESL kids.
Oh my gosh. They put my sister, Des, because on an intake form in one of the schools, they were like, is there other language spoken in your house? And like, yeah, Tagalog spoken in our house. They put her in the ESL class, and she didn't even speak the other language. She only spoke English. And I was like, do you want me to get you out of this? And she's like, no, it's an easy class.
Right? Because
So
you're
she
probably
just
like
rolled with it.
enjoying whatever they were doing, right? Be like, Pinay asigo na, sige, kumagana nga sigo na, sige, kumahamihi mahalaga, sige, salamat salasi porta, sige. You didn't know I could do that.
Oh, I trusted that you could. I didn't know we needed to call upon that skill.
It's just, I like that
But
song.
so in contrast to that though, some people are so like, it's such a mountain for them to get on video that I know plenty of people who have no YouTube channel and they are fine. They can operate in the world. This isn't a hobby, a business, a venture, a skill set that is required for you to live your life.
No, there's people that don't
But
drive.
if it's something that's calling to
yeah.
you, then you need to tell yourself you can't do it. And if you tell yourself, like, because you are called to it, that is why you know you can do it.
I think that's the bigger tension.
Do it.
The tension is if you try it and you don't like it and you run away from it, it ain't for you. But if you try it and you don't like it, and something keeps pulling you back here to be told that you need to do this, you probably need to do it. There's a calling. There's something making you come back and watch this, even though you keep telling yourself you can't. Right? There's something burning inside of you, and you just need to respond to which one is more correct. Someone mentioned it earlier. It might have been JB or Joel about we have just been designed to try to go towards safety. And I am thankful that I ain't never been that person. I'm like, fire. Wow. Like, I am so happy that I never believed in the myth of comfort, and I never believed in the myth of safety. I just, yeah, I think I'm super stoked about that. But I think Joel is right. I think people do sort of want to sort of levitate towards the place that's safe.
But
I
isn't that instinctual though?
Yeah,
You
100%.
know, just like
100%.
human instinct.
Yeah.
But like it's the concept of like what is dangerous, right? Because it's kind of relative. If you've never actually seen real danger, then maybe this seems dangerous. If
That's
you've
the
never
answer.
had that
It's
context, right? So we'll
relative.
get into that later.
Yeah.
But something that I think can help people feel better on camera is having things that make you feel confident, things that inspire you, things that you're like, yes, it's okay. So for me, right? Things that I'm like, I'm ready to get on camera. Lipstick, right? The lights. Yes. This is why we like having nice cameras. This is why the dock pops matter, right? Today I'm feeling pink. When I have the pink one, I'm in a good mood. Sometimes when there's other colors,
Ooh, I should
you
do
could
that.
probably read into it, right?
I should switch mine. When I go red, y'all about to get turned. But I
Yes.
realized after you got on my case about making the audio engineer in me was like, I can't stand when people take one of these and stick it all up in their face and do whatever. But you mentioned that this is literally a prop to make, people feel like it. It's like I can enjoy a Ozzy Osbourne, may he long rest in peace. I can enjoy an Ozzy Osbourne sound without picking up a tennis racket, but it's so much better when you pick up a tennis racket. All aboard! Shoot you. Yeah, it's like different, right? That song was totally fine without the tennis racket or the air guitar, but it's totally better.
But it makes it fun.
You got a broomstick, a spatula, like whatever, and it's a whole different track, right? Or after the movie came out, I can't be the only one who would put on the Ray-Bans and the shirt and go sliding across the living room in your drawers. I can't be the only one. I did it. I know you did it. Matter of fact, I tried to go to school like that for Halloween, and they were like, "No, you
No,
don't."
put some pants on,
Put some
sir.
pants on. So listen, I know for a fact that some of y'all done slid across the living room with your Ray-Bans on and just take the old record off the shelf. Like for real. So when you told me that like a lot of people use this as a crutch, I get it. At first I was like, y'all are just doing horrible audio and that's irritating. But I totally get the idea of doing this because my brother, as brilliant as he is, will twirl pins in that Korean twirl pin around the finger thing. And he can do it so good, I can't do it. My pen will go flying. But June, when he's talking, he got to do this. And he does it where it just, I can't do it. It makes me irritated.
Oh,
And
that's fun.
he also can do this one right here that, that goes like this, but through all of the fingers. And like that was his thing. That's when he was in his zone, when he was doing that thing. And it's just a crutch. So, if you had to use a crutch to be on camera, do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like not everybody needs that, but sometimes like just having the little microphone in the hand, you just feel like, yes, it's time, right? It is part of that character that you can put on as you are trying to bridge yourself from, being apprehensive to it to being comfortable, right? So with speaking on camera and being scared of speaking on camera, like the biggest fears, right? It's imperfect. I don't know the script. I didn't memorize the words. I don't know what I'm talking about. There's like so many different things in the it's not perfect before you go on. But like, I think it's kind of overrated. Like, know your stuff, do your research, know what you're talking about, or be willing to show that you don't know yet, but like not hide that, right? Like, because this is where you can not know, but admit that you don't know, you know. But it's when you say you know, but like clearly you don't, where things look a little, disconnected,
That's why I did
But
30 days if I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. Deal with it. You can watch it or you can not. I just told you. Like the whole entire month of July, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm pressing these buttons. You can watch or you can leave. It was freeing. It's funny because you just said this whole thing. I just realized that. I just connected those two dots. He's slow today, okay? That was totally freeing. In the beginning, I was fumbly and saying dumb stuff and then laughing at myself when I was making mistakes. In the end of 30 days, I'm like Steph Curry. The mouthpiece is coming out. I'm starting to chew on that sucker. I'm in the zone. Everybody goes through it no matter what they're learning. They all start from jump. And then eventually you have to get to a point where, and I mentioned this during my 30 days. When you first got out of Mr. Davis's driver's ed class, you got in that car and you was like very intentional with the buckle up and do this a couple times and tend into it and then look at your mirrors and then adjust the mirror. Ain't nothing changed. Their mirrors in the same place they was when you parked yesterday. But you got in that sucker every time when you was about 17 and you was like, and you're like fidgety. And then you put it in reverse and you just like slowly like this. And then now you jump in the car, slap that son bitch in reverse and then now we all got cameras back there. We slap the sucker in reverse and look at the screen. We don't even look no more. You're able to drive home 30, 40 miles, barely paying attention to the road. You're either jamming Journey, just a small time girl, right? Or listening to Tay Tay again, Mary Lou. Or
hey, TS12's coming out. Announced
talking
last
to
night.
your friend. Well, I'm sure Des is having like premonitions of what's going down, and she's deciphering tweets and whatnot. She got a whole
I
like,
know
she got the
they
murder
go
string
deep.
going down and trying to figure it out. But you're having a conversation with your homie. You're doing everything but paying attention to the road, and you get home every day. And the reason why you can do that is because you've driven it every day since you got hired at wherever you hired at. The first time you went on that route to your new spot, or the first time you went to go pick up the children from school or whatever, your head was on the swivel. You was checking everything. You were making mental notes. It's the same thing. It comes from reps, yo. It comes from reps, and you just have to do the reps. And it doesn't matter if you start out nasty. You started out nasty at everything you did. It's just what it is. So I don't know why everybody's so against it at this point in time.
Now, with the onset of AI, right, being able to give you an outline, give you a script, tell you exactly what you need to say, I feel like perfectionism is even like more gross because I can tell when someone's using an AI script where I'm like,
That
there's
ain't you.
tells, and I just scroll by, like I'll see it and I like audibly, I'm like, ugh. Like I just like you could take the information, you can use it as an assistant. Like yes, use it as a tool, but now you're just parroting what this thing said, and I can tell because I spent a lot of time with it to the point where I'm like I've not even like opened ChatGPT in a little bit because I am trying to get back to just using what's in my brain for like what we're doing here, right? Our stuff, our show. Like we know what we're talking about. So let's brainstorm some bullet points.
Pull that
We
thread.
can figure this out.
Yeah.
Pull in the threads. And I think that's like a little bit of a more exciting exercise for me. And then I think it makes for a more compelling presentation and storyline, because there's actually humanity there, not just what the large language model has learned from reading all of the
Oh,
articles
the
from the other large language
humanity.
models across the internet.
Well, and
Like
that's
this
the.
is all like what
Go ahead.
our stuff today is based off of our actual experience.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The all of the pushback is all about like, well, what about the humanity of it all? What about the humanity of all? Well, at the end of the day, all it has to do is trigger a conversation. It doesn't have to be the right answer, and
Yeah.
maybe it will trigger an aspect of the conversation that you had either deeply buried. I wouldn't say you forgot about it because you never really forgot about it, but it's just not at the surface. Or it will show you a different angle that you're not familiar with. So it gives you opportunity to speak from your expertise side, but it also can give you the opportunity to speak from the side of you don't know. And I think it's good to show both, right? So AI didn't tell me this, but speaking of the humanity, I just said it in the beginning of the thing. I honestly do not know what it feels like to have stage fright. Now, do I get butterflies? Yes. Have I ever gotten stomach knots? Yes. Is that stage fright? To you, not to me. Why not? Because you define that as fear. I define the same adrenaline from the same damn kidneys as excitement. But you define that adrenaline as fear. The really, really scared people would define that adrenaline as anxiety. And the horny people would define that as an orgasm. It's all the same. That feeling that you catching, I said it today. You caught that feeling when you was in love. The first time somebody walked by, they put their eyes on you, and you went, "Some enchanted evening, waiting for my true love." Same thing. Same knot in your stomach. That's why there's all the songs about the knots in your stomach. You give me butterflies inside my right. All you got to do is walk away and pass me by. Same thing. It's a butterfly, is a butterfly, is a butterfly, is a butterfly. No, it is your body pumping adrenaline to get you ready to protect yourself from the danger or get you ready to perform something that's going to be positive to your life. You decide whether it's scary or not. Some of us stand at the top of a mountain and go, "Damn, this is awesome. What a lovely view. This is so majestic. I could sit here all day with a cup of coffee and enjoy life." Other people stand at the top of a mountain and go, "Oh my God, it's so far to the bottom." And more than likely, whichever one you pick, somebody else told you to pick it though.
Well, it's good. What I want to get into next is your unique experience because of being in the military, being in the medical field, actually of being in really dangerous situations, and how they can learn from that in talking on camera. But first, I want to know your pick of the week.
Pick of the week, pick of the week, pick of the week. I just made a video about this and I'll bring it up. I just put the other one in the drawer so I can't grab it, but maybe see if I can pull it out without banging into everything. Can you do it quietly? No, I can't do it quietly. Okay, I'm going to show you what it is and then I'll give you an example. So I had been on the lookout, and it doesn't matter brand. There's tons of brands out there. You can kind of pick whichever one fits your, particular situation. But I am, moving things around the office, trying to get some things situated, and I have both my Mac Mini, which is over here. It has that little round 8 cord, and then I have my Anchor charger, which I put on the desk. It has the same thing. Well, the standard issue cords that go in them suckers, they don't let it get to the wall because it's just too big, right? So what I discovered is getting something like little right angle versions. And so I use ChatGPT to help me find the link to it. But now with the little right angle versions, I can get it close to the wall because I found not only the power cord, but even the charge cords that allow it to get close to the wall. And so you can. I suggest you go out there and search for right angle or flush mount. They got it. You've seen them for the wall. You probably have a power supply or extension cord that has a flat, so it doesn't stick out. And I even found little adapters, and I made a video about it. But I got like little adapters for the regular USB, so that you can just take it and plug it in, and then get it out your way, so you can get close to the wall, right? Just or nicer cableage. Now I've got wires coming all which ways and whatnot. I'm even looking at my Rodecaster Pro now, and I realize the way that the XLR comes out the back, kind of crazy. I'm about to chop the end off that sucker and switch it to a right angle so that I can get it flush mount. But I know how to solder, but you can actually buy right angle XLR cables. So if you're trying to clean up your joint and you're looking for some options, you probably can find various right angles. Some even come on swivels. Some have little magnet tips that you can change. Just make sure if you're buying USB cables, though, make sure they're at least 240 watt and 40 gigabit per second, because as Mac users, that's close enough to Thunderbolt speeds that you won't lose the performance of your device. Never buy anything less than 240 by 40. It's just a waste of time. It will get on your nerves. And then you're going to have to get a little tester so that you can check it out. Make sure you know what's going on. But yeah, that's my pick. Like, start thinking about how to think about very light and inexpensive ways to clean up your space from another standpoint of, I know all of us can attest to this. When you stepped out and you had a new outfit or you had new kicks or, like new clothes, whatever, you always stepped out with a different level of swag. Do that to your space. Make your space where you sit down in it and be like, look at my command center. I'm ready to make this here stuff. Right. So when I just regutted my office and started rearranging and getting things organized in here, it's a different feeling when you sit at the desk. When you sit at the desk and mess in chaos, it also messes with your psyche as well. Well, at least for me anyway.
It's true. I love that. Like the cleaning up those little things like that are going to help you so much, because you open up the space, then there's like less things to worry about. But like when it's like visually cluttered, then yeah, everything feels cluttered. Everything feels cluttered. In what I've been doing lately, I've been just tired of like text graphics. I'm just tired. Like I'm just like seeking like some other kind of look for things, and I had recently pulled back up the Video Pencil app into Ecamm so I could write on the screen, and I've just been doing title cards like this instead
cool.
of typing stuff on there. And then just I wanted to do a series that had like, I was thinking like of a whiteboard, but then when I had the whiteboard, I tried it, the light glared off of it, and I was like, I don't really want to deal with that. And then I just remembered this was a tool that we have, so I don't see a lot of people using it that much, but it's really cool. It's a really cool app that you can hook up from your iPad. I'm using the iPad Apple Pencil, then it's connected to the computer, I don't know, through magic airwaves. And
Which are you
and then I
using
can
Video
write on the
Pencil app
screen.
itself or just the connectivity? Like, can you use like Procreate or something to write instead?
It's Video Pencil.
Yeah, I had Pencil before,
That's
but it was in the very beginning and it was still a little crazy.
It's more better now. Like
Okay.
I know what you're talking about. Like that's why I didn't use it for a long time, but I was like, let me go revisit this, and it's excellent now.
All right.
Yeah, it's not Procreate. Like right now, it has the screen feed has
Oh,
come in, but it's frozen.
yeah.
But
But you
like
still
it's
don't
fine.
need
I
that.
don't even need that.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't need all that.
The reason why I was asking is just because of different brushes. Like, I like to mess around with different brushes for different things, but it's super
Yeah, but
cool.
not so much. Well, you can. What do we have? You can buy some new pencils. He's like adding some
There
other
you go.
things.
That's cool. Michael's a genius,
So
bro. He's an absolute genius.
yeah,
So I have a question. Just try this real quick. Make a circle and then
yeah.
hold your finger at the end of closing the circle.
Let's see if it like makes it solid. No,
Okay. I wondered if you
I know
brought
what you're
in
talking about though.
the Apple side of it. But yeah, that's super
Yeah,
cool.
maybe not yet, but there could be like sometimes there's a setting,
Mm.
right? So
Yeah.
like with the pencil here, I have it with even width turn off. So if I type, sometimes it's thick
Oh,
and sometimes it's
there
thin.
you go. Velocity is
But
working. Okay. I like the velocity
yeah,
side of it.
so then if I turn that on, then everything's even,
Nice.
which I like. I like the it's called velocity,
Yeah, velocity.
where it's like I just think it looks a little more
It
interesting.
looks more handwriting. Super dope.
Yeah. I think that's where I'm at. I'm just like I just want things to be a little bit more interesting cuz it's all looking a little boring to me out on the internet right now. It's
I
all
like that.
looking a little
I like that.
boring.
I have definitely seen some videos where creators are, writing their text overlays and they just hit different. They just do. You know what I mean? And I don't know if you guys know this, but like Tom Buck, I don't know if he still does it. He used to paint things on all of his thumbnails, so it looks like a normal thumbnail, but he would have like paintings because he would bring it in and Procreate and add his own little Buck Nation to it. And I was like, yeah, it's brilliant. It's a good way to get that scroll to stop, so to speak, right?
And make it look unique to you, right?
I
Cuz
saw
we all
something
got
the
our templates, but
I saw something the other day, and it kind of broke my heart. There's a dude who was making a video talking about building your brand or your brand voice. You know the typical cliche words, and he
yeah.
had the blue Canva with the sunburst. He had the blue Canva template with the sunburst, talking about developing your brand voice, developing your brand, or whatever the case may be, and using the stock template. I'm like, bro, you just crushed your credibility being lazy with the thumbnail because you can't talk
No,
about building the brand voice by using the template. I'm sorry, it didn't.
because ChatGPT gave him the outline, said you should talk about this video, and then he just read it and then went
Oh,
to
that was
Canva and
painful.
was
I
a
felt bad for
thumbnail.
him. I felt bad for him. I was like, bro, you could have
Yeah,
done anything in
sad.
the world. It would have been better to just take a pencil and paper and write that on the pencil and paper and then take his picture and place it on there. Like that would have been better.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate when I'm trying to talk to you and my mustache is tickling my damn nose. Yeah, yeah. I just really do love that. I love also when you see people put things on screen and there's like little, like jittery flowers or whatever that they sort of hand drew and brought in. I think that's a good idea for some people. Get your Oh my God, you're talking about this, and I'm literally looking at a dude whose thumbnail where the he drew on his thumbnail, and he's talking about building a shed to store your bike to make it more secure, and he drew the outline of this. Like, how did look? This is why people think that the internet be listening to you. There's no way it could process that fast. It just happened to be there, and I do like bike stuff, so it's there. But the randomness of and what I call that is ambient awareness. Now that Mary Lou has talked about drawing, you will pay more attention to thumbnails that have drawing on them. You just will. Just so you know, it's
Yes.
not that the internet is listening to you. It's called ambient awareness. If I talk to you about red Teslas. Yes, today I hate red Teslas. You will see a bunch of red Teslas today. It's just how it works. All right, just want to take that off your brain before you start going, they're listening to us. Because they're not.
Yeah, she's like you just are paying attention more to the thing
Yeah.
because it's there.
But I
Yeah.
swear, now I'm seeing all the drawn thumbnails on YouTube right now. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. Oh, it's so good. So good. That was an awesome pick, Lou. All right, so what we got next?
Okay, so in our practical tips section, right? Doc has made it clear to us he has had a very storied life. He has had lots of experiences and brushes with death and actually had been in danger situations that are high stakes where you can't actually be nervous. You got to keep it together, right? Otherwise, you're really in trouble. From that experience, what can you suggest to reframe and like specific tactics or things people can think about when they're feeling afraid of just talking on camera, aside from the like it's not that serious.
Okay, so that's actually a good question. And one of the things for us is we learned or are taught, and I can't remember which is which, I guess it's the same, that you absolutely, if you're not scared, please talk to the shrink. You got a problem. If you're not scared, you have a psychopathy that makes you want to go and kill somebody. So, but we were taught to channel that fear and channel that nervousness into alertness. Because again, it's the same thing. If you are, okay, so we're walking. Me, you, Joel, Kevin, Paul, right on beat. And we're walking. Don't hit that cable again. And
I
we're
know.
in that
I
we're
move like I
we're,
breathe the wrong way and things get
we're,
disconnected.
we're in that forest in Amesbury, where we had the event where you were putting the camera above the fireplace, and we're walking around in that forest, and we hear, we all go like that, right? We all wonder what to do. First thing we do is get tighter together as a group, right? But we all caught that little twinge. What we do is we're taught to basically turn that quick level of fear or nervousness into the energy it takes to formulate a plan. Okay? So the first thing we're going to do is switch our single file line into a 2x2. And we need like, okay, Kevin, you watch the back left. DJ Rob, you watch the back right. Lou and I will take the back front, and we'll put Paul in the middle because facts are facts. Paul's going to be the slowest, right? So we put Paul in the middle in the safety position, right? We would put Dez in the middle in the safety position, and we all walk hand on each other's shoulder, and then we just walk and we got head on the swivel. We're all walking. We're doing this together. So much easier. If you're in the forest by yourself and you hear that noise, oh, you're gonna start making some decisions, right? And that's that whole fight or flight situation. But we're basically taught to take that fear and channel it into something that works for you. So you could do the same. You can be scared and you could be nervous. Like I said before, that's a sign that you care. That's a sign that you care to deliver something delicious to your people. I have celebrities who basically perform every single day and they still get stage fright, but that's because they want to put out a particular thing. It's not about them personally. They want to just make sure that you're getting the experience you came for. You came to get a full Stephanie, imposing herself as Gaga. You know what I mean? So there it is. It's just a matter of channeling those fears into something that's beneficial and not negative. Because if you just get scared and you scream real loud, now the spotter knows exactly where you are. And then right after your scream, so like, okay, it's military in the woods, we hear crack, crack, we go. Regular person, ah! Doof, doof. No more ah. So, yeah, you just learn how to channel your energy, which is also why in the movies, when somebody screams, somebody covers their mouth real quick. Like, what's his name? John Krasinski. Quiet, silence, quiet place.
Oh yeah, quiet place. Yeah,
quiet place. There you go.
Yeah, I like the concept of channeling that energy because you're gonna get in situations you're gonna just feel it, right? So if it's there, notice it because what's worse is like when you're like, no, just go away. But it's like that energy's there. We can alchemize that and turn that into something useful,
She said
right?
alchemize. Ooh,
So
Hercules,
you can like,
Hercules.
and then he gets weird about the witchy stuff.
Well, alchemy is a real thing. It's chemistry. The chem part in alchemy is
And the witchy
chemistry.
stuff is real stuff too, even
I
if you
go
don't
away.
understand it.
Right.
You don't have to understand it for it to be real. You don't have to believe it for it to be real. So, with like taking that energy and turning it into something else. So, coming from performance, right? If you're nervous and you bring nervous onto the stage, then everyone's kind of nervous looking at you. But if nervous comes up and you say, "Okay, where can I use this nervous? This nervous is actually excitement. This nervous is actually energy of positivity. It's that I am eager, right, to do this. Now, when you get out on stage, everybody is feeling that vibe. When you start to think about like, if you come out scared and then that means the audience is scared, you're uncomfortable, now the audience is uncomfortable, that can maybe help you shift that mindset because you don't want to bring that. It's like you stink and you go to a party, you didn't shower, right? Now everybody's like, it stinks in here.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe we don't know what it is.
So you know what's so funny you say that? Like I've done tons of events and things like that, and inevitably the sound will go crazy. So we're standing in like Blaisdell Center. There's like 6,000-7,000 people in there, and we're getting ready for Casey and JoJo, right? And I'm doing the opening act, and we're out there, and the sound man is still tweaking, trying to get stuff together, and of course the boss would be like, "Hey, you go out there and stall until they get it going." So we're doing stuff, having fun on stage. We're, singing with the people, doing call and response, having a great old time. And then, like, to say, we have the little DJ set going and the sound goes crazy, right? I have my people trained to we would all go, I would just scream out real loud, "Sound boy!" And the audience would be like, "There's no need to worry as long as I got my nine." And we would do that refrain because like that was like we're making fun of the sound man without making him feel bad, and we giving them a second to get it together because I had them doing an acapella verse that they knew was going to come in, and I had like one of five that I would use, but we would just go straight to some random acapella song that everybody in that crowd knew, and depending on the concert I kind of knew the audience, and there's enough people that knew me like they knew what to do, right? And that was always dope. And the sound man was like, always, "Thank you for not being that artist who sits there and yells at us because that doesn't allow us to get it fixed any faster." We all have a Rodecaster Pro with 4 sliders, and when it goes dumb, it takes you a second. Imagine a 128 channel or a 64 channel master board, front of house, back of house. He needs a second, right? And so rather than make that dude nervous, I would just come up with something fun that we could all do together, right? I used to have like, "We don't need no music. All we need is a hand clap." And once everybody would just start clapping and we would just, yell out different cities in the town or, do the ladies or do the fellas. Like we had these breaks that we could use to give them a second to come back in, and it requires no amplification because everybody's going to get into it, right? And so you think about, you hear that in stadiums, right? In the English football, everybody got a song. Each player has a song. Like there's so much you can do to bring that energy. And so that relieves the fear. And so you just mentioned that, and Paul said like fear is contagious, right? So before, if a player's about to do something important, like take a penalty kick, there's a couple of minutes to get ready where the ref got to make sure everybody's in their position. The home team crowd will automatically start singing the Bruno Fernandes song. You know what that dude don't do? He don't miss penalty kicks because they get him in the right frame of mind, right? If everybody was like, "Oh, I'm nervous that he misses this, we're going to lose the game," he would feel that. And that's exactly when he misses it. So even in something like that, a person who gets paid $100 million a year to kick a ball in the net, you can mess with their psyche by how you present it. If the game is on the line and we all sitting there looking at Steph and we're giving him that Steph's going to make it, Steph's going to make it. But if we're all looking like Steph's going to miss, that's contagious. It seems weird, but it's why Cesar Millan always told you, don't give that nervous energy to your dog. The reason why your dog is like that is because of you, not because of it. It is a pack animal. It follows the leader. You're the biggest thing in the house. It's feeding off of your energy. Caesar told us all that. Damn, you're good at pulling these damn threads, Lou. I'm just telling you. I do want to see your murder board one day with the red strings and the pictures and who got circles on their faces. Like, I'm going to need to see that. Just make sure I ain't on it.
But so like the, when you, if you've never been like in a high stakes situation, right? Then it's easy for these things to feel scary. But there's definitely situations in your life where you had to step up and be brave. You had to do that. So channel that and bring that into this, because going in scared and not doing it, we need to take that off as an option. It's
Yeah,
not an option,
it's not an option.
right? It must happen. If you've chosen to do this, if you are called to it, either you drop it and you just say, ain't for me, then you go spend your time doing something else that you love, or you say, this is happening, it must happen, muster up that courage, and be brave enough to do it wrong.
Many of us do one of the most dangerous things in the world every single day, which is driving, and we don't give it a second thought. Like literally one of the most dangerous things on the planet is driving, and we don't give it a second thought. The second most dangerous thing to us is eating. We eat all kind of foolishness. Somebody's right now stuffing a 16 tablespoon Coke into their body. They ain't afraid of that, but you're afraid of something that can't even hurt you while you're drinking a Coke with cane sugar. Like, come on, son.
And and I'll be for real, like it hasn't happened in a long time, but there's like sometimes when I haven't been speaking up for myself in life, that when I'll get in front of the camera, it's hard to open up the vocal
Oh,
channels. Like
so it
it's hard to
connects.
open up the heart. Yes. So like if you
Oh,
think about, if this is a doorway, right? And in your life, you're pretty open and you can say what you need to say. Then like maybe you're just worried about the technical things or whatnot, right? So like a lot of us, we've been in this long enough. Like you all know how to turn on your cameras, you all know how to plug in your microphones. Okay, you know how to do this. But if in your everyday life you're feeling like you can't say something, or there's something you want to say and you're not letting it out, then you get in front of the camera, even if it's unrelated, you're the door is closed and
mm.
it's having a hard time getting out, possibly. So a way that I combat that when it does come up, because this is something I know it comes up from time to time, is to just press record and just talk and be like, what is the thing I'm not saying that I need to say? And even if it's like me talking to myself for 20 minutes, it's footage, it's never going to see the light of day. I cry. You basically like therapy yourself. You can also journal, like look at it like a video journal, or you can do writing journal. But there may be something that you want to say that is not related to your channel or could be related to your channel, and you're not doing it. So maybe this is where you need to say something and use it as that tool, because you not saying things, like keeping the doors closed, is not serving anyone.
Damn, that's much cheaper than the 12-year-old single malt. Them joints is
That's
like
also fun too.
them joints is like
Sometimes
150
that
a
can just
bottle.
grease the doors open.
That's what
The
Mike
doors
said.
are like,
Like, how do you get
oh,
unstuck? I was like, tequila.
whiskey.
All right, let's go rapid fire. Let's go. I'm excited.
All right,
Let's go.
let's get them. Let's get them. Let's get them. All right, all right, all right.
What is she gonna bring?
What was early on starting your YouTube channel? Some of your early experiences on camera. Talk to us about that. How did it feel? Because it's not like it is now.
No, God, no. It was. I think it was weird for me because I had come from the broadcast space and I had done stuff before, but I mean, you got to do it yourself. And the number one thing that messed with me is that the quality level wasn't what I was accustomed to, because I was accustomed to shooting on like Ikigami or Sony 3-chip cameras with a Fuji 9 lens. Like I was using a $300,000 camera, and now I'm standing out here with an iPhone 3GS. Like this don't look right, or a Logitech C120, or I had the little Logitech Orbit. It was kind of like a round baseball looking
Like an
camera that would
eyeball.
follow you
Yeah.
everywhere. Yeah. And I was just like always grading the visual quality and not understanding that it wasn't about the visual quality. It was about what you were saying and how you were letting people connect. So in the beginning for me, because I came from TV, that messed with me of like, it just can't be as polished and produced. And how I got over it, which I think is good to know, is that I know for a fact sometimes our freestyle sessions with just an upside down trash can in the middle of the alleyway, we spit way better bars than a concert hall with perfect setup. Some of our raw performances in the park were way more fun and way more engaging and way more meaningful to the people that it meant something to. So I had to remind myself that as a performer, sometimes a crowd of 3 is better than a crowd of 3,000.
Yeah. I, I relate this back to, for myself, at the beginning of the YouTube channel, like I had already kind of learned like hosting and talking and just, being a little bit more flexible. One of my first ever auditions, I had no audition training, was for Nickelodeon show Slime Time Live. And they gave us a script. Again, I didn't have any training on how to approach this. So they gave me a script. I memorized the script. That's all I knew. You gave me the script. I memorized the script. Go into the audition, nail it, the script. And they're like, great, now just talk to us. I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I did the script. Like
Anybody
what do you
can
mean?
memorize a script. They need to find your personality, and if you have the ability to put your personality into the various characters. And I think everybody would fail that test because everybody prepared for the memorization of a script. Anybody can memorize a script. The scripts of whole ass movies you ain't ever seen before. Or, I mean, that's not that you've seen 1,000 times is what I meant to say, right? We all can do, now presenting the Zorg ZF1. Handles adjustables, good for righties and lefties. And with the new repeating shot, you send one single shot. Each and every shot goes back to the same location. Like we can do full ass scenes for movies by soliloquy. That don't mean you're Gary Oldman. Like nobody's Gary Oldman. Gary Oldman ain't even Gary Oldman. He been so many personalized. I think that dude probably don't know what he do at night. He's like one of the best in the game, right? But that's so good, Lou. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, and
I'm also glad you didn't stay on Nickelodeon because then you would have whole different traumas.
Because who knows what would happen, right?
Thank God you got out of that.
I already wasn't. I was in college already, so it wouldn't have been the same as like.
Oh, you wasn't his type. Okay, good.
Yeah, but I did I did get a call back. I got to come back again, so they saw enough where they were like, "Let's give her another chance." But like I had no training and I had no like understanding of like what was being asked of me because I hadn't gone through it before, right? So that's why you have to. The only way is through. That is, there's one way, and it's through, and that's it. And you learn that experience, Like I go back and I think about that. I'm like, dang, I could have been on a Nickelodeon show, but like I wasn't supposed to be. But I did learn my lesson there. Yeah. It was a thing I was supposed to learn.
I watched HBO. I'm glad you didn't make it.
Yeah. Oh, yes. It's been interesting. It's been interesting. What's a mistake you're glad that you've made on camera?
Oh, so many.
Happy mistakes. Yeah.
So many. I think anytime, even to this day, anytime I can make one, I am happy to live with it because I want people to understand that that's just normal. And I never want people to get the feeling or the impression that I am somehow special. I despise the terminology talented and skilled. I worked for this. I wasn't like, oh, magic wand, blah, sprinkle dust, blah. No, I worked for this. So I want my credit for working for it. Don't you ever call me talented. I'd rather you drop me an N-word than call me talented. I'm used to that ignorance. I'm not used to somebody calling me talented because I legit take it as a side thing. Like, oh, you somehow lucked up. Oh, you're lucky that you have the gift of gab, I heard somebody say. Or you're lucky that you can just speak on anything like that. There's no luck involved in that, son. That's labor under correct knowledge. So I am happy to make a mistake for you. I am happy to look foolish. I do not mind it when, my people call me out for something crazy or whatever I do. It's just, you cannot, I said this the other day, you cannot learn anything without failing because failing is feedback. Feedback is knowledge. Knowledge is power. That's the flow.
That's it. I don't think there's anywhere else to go. That's the knowledge to leave with. Good job, y'all. We've been unstuck.
You know what it is? Let me hit the button.
You have been unstuck. With creators Unstuck, Doc Rock, and Mary Lou Mandel.
Oh, that's so good. I just love it every time. I love it every time. All right, family, you know what it is. I am Doc Rock, DOCROCK. You can find me all over the interwebs. If you have any questions, comments, feedback, just drop me a line. And
I'm Mary Lou Mandel. You can find me all over the internet at Mary Lou Mandel. Come and hang out with me. We're doing some interesting new, brave, courageous, wrong things on my channel. So come hang out with me. Let's see what happens.
Brave, courageous, wrong. That is so good. That is so good. Well, people, you know what we say around here. See you. Dude, brave, courageous, wrong. That is very good. Cause yeah, the pins and needles of like being always performative. That's a lot. It's a lot to live up to.
Yeah. And this, like, I find myself getting tired of the value prop. You know, it's like you want things to be valuable, right? You want things to be valued. But as a creative, I find myself getting tired of the listicle and the tutorial and the, you know, how are we finding anything interesting anymore, right? Because whenever you go to chat and you're like, give me some ideas or give me some title ideas, and it's like, everything's so boring. It all looks the same. Everything looks the same. So I think that's where I'm at, is let's shake it up. Let's shake it up.
Oh my God, that's so crazy. Yeah, the whole sameness of it all. Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, isn't it not all the same? Like, you look
I
at
made
it
a
and it's
video
like,
yesterday. I would just tell you so you don't have to listen to the whole thing. But I still got some friends in the Valley, and I was talking to some people who are kind of in the VC space, or they work around in the VC space. And what the venture capitalists are doing right now, because all the AI apps came out, and that train has been kind of ridden, because now that the prompters, this is going to sound crazy because we just had a full ass conversation with a really good AI app. Now that 5 is out and the new Claude is out and the new Gemini is out, oh my God, I can't say the word now. Prompts are auto fixing. Okay, it will pick the right model. It will go deeper than you want. It will ask you questions. When it answers it, it will ask you another question and be like, are you sure you're doing this the right way? Right? I sent a transcript through ChatGPT yesterday, and it showed me the exact version of regex, which is registration edit, JavaScript, Python, and React that it's using to decipher a transcript. It is like saying how I'm watching this happen. It is showing you the thread of how it's taking each line and parsing the line, figuring out what keywords are, moving them into an array, taking them back out of the array, concatenating them into real words, checking the real words against the dictionary. Like, it gave you the whole flow. And because I understand a little bit about code, it made sense to me. It would have made Aubrey lose her socks. She would have been like, what? And so now that I'm watching this guy do the thinking, right, and see what it came up with, it took 2 minutes. Here, I'm going to show you on screen. It took 2 minutes and 5 seconds to do what it needed to do, because it thought it all the way through. And when you click on this, it will tell you what it's doing. And so this was the actual code that it ran in order to figure out what it was doing. And then so it's parsing and it's inspecting, and then it's running through ellipses and checking for different occurrences. Find out that character is not real, it's just a formulation in the line. And then it's splitting all the lines in a particular range between 1 and 400 minutes. And then it has a whole calculation of how it figures it out. And then, like, it's giving you the code of how it works. And so what happens is, now that you no longer look at import React right there, that's a Python script. Now that it knows what it's doing and it's telling you what it's doing, you don't have to know how to prompt like that. Like, we just know that when we ask it to give us an answer, that it takes your transcript and it comes up with this. But this is the actual code that it took to take my transcript and come out with venture capital for creators, the creator economy, YouTube strategy, educational content, growing on YouTube in 2025, YouTube on TV. Like the fact that it's able to just show you how it's doing all of that. These guys can't invest in apps anymore because the prompts are going to be so smart that these apps are going to become irrelevant. These apps got like another year or so before they're all basically done away with because the prompt can do it itself. So VCs are like, well, AI is taking us out of this space. How are we going to make money? They are paying someone like you to comb the internet and find these creators who are sitting on 10, 15,000, maybe even 5,000 subs, but who are creating content that's different, heavy hitting, and have a high, I forgot what the word is, subscriber to watch ratio. And then they're going, okay, hey, can we fund your channel? Can we basically hire you and put you on our team? And what's holding you back from growing your channel any bigger? Well, my content is good, but I don't have the time, or I can't edit, or I need somebody to, create these graphics for me, or somebody to help me shoot. Right? So you remember I talked a little bit ago about this kid named Josh who was like doing some 3D quality content, and I was like, yo, his stuff is super good. He just started. When I met Josh just months ago, he had a single video with like 340 followers, but the video has 132,000 views. So his subscriber to, view ratio is mad high. Right? So what these guys are doing is they're finding people like Josh, who has 8 videos now, only 12,000 subscribers, but look, 62,000, 132,000, 66,000, 59,000. Yo, I guarantee you, if he keeps going like this, he's going to get a call from one of these venture capitalists. You see what I'm saying? He ain't got to worry about brand deals. He don't got to worry about somebody helping him edit all of this shit. Like, these guys are hunting for creators that have high view to low subscriber count and catch them before these agencies are catching them. And this was YouTube back in the day when they had MCMs or whatever they called it. The multiple channel managers,
MCMs?
whatever. Yeah, they're bringing it back because they're betting on YouTube because of the numbers that Moynihan is telling them. Like, billions and billions of people are watching, and people are going to miss on this game because they're busy being scared to talk on camera. That's what it is. So you better start talking on camera. I'm just saying. The venture capitalists are watching
Better
YouTube
do
now.
it.
That's all you need to know. That was my video.
Dun dun dun. I did watch that one.
It's crazy, bro. What a thought. What a thought. You could just be making some
Yeah,
videos.
it was
and
like
shit.
I've known forever, like not venture capitalists, but agencies. They're combing the internet to develop talent that way
Yeah, looking for
because there's no
sauce.
acting jobs.
I mean, like, at the end of the day, if we're being real about it, that's how I'm here today. Company was looking at my videos and goes, you make tutorials the way we like it, and we don't make tutorials, and can we just pay you to do that? You can do whatever the fuck you want.
Dun, dun, dun.
You can still coach people. You can still do your podcast with a weird Filipino girl. You can do whatever the hell you want, but we're going to pay you to make content. And that switched into running the community, and that switched into now helping them develop better partnerships with brands. But I got there because I was making videos. without being scared. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be an asshole about it because it's the dumbest thing to be scared of. I'm gonna be an asshole about it. I don't care if you hate me. This is dumb. And you could be right. You could win this argument, knock yourself out. But you winning this argument will still not get you paid. You listening to me, even if I'm completely wrong, will get you paid. So you pick one. That's my era right now, Mary Lou. I'm tired of telling y'all this shit era. Damn. See, you started it. He's like, I don't know if I want to be a coach. I can't put up with them.
I don't.
Yeah, I know. And then now you got me. I'm in that same boat right now. I'm just like, I'm sick of people.
But okay, so like think of it this way though. And I think am I just a disembodied voice on the channel? You don't see me, I think.
Oh, sorry. Disembodied voice. I clicked the wrong thing.
We have a good group of people, right?
Yeah.
We have a really good group
have
of
a
people who
super
want to
awesome
put
group
in the
of
work.
Yeah.
So if we put more resources into developing them and more energy and focus in developing people who have already chosen the path, I think it's a better service than trying to convince randos that this is worth their time. Like they need to convince themselves that. Like you
Yeah.
come when you're ready, we're here.
I like that.
But
what?
between here and there, that's on you. Go to
And
someone
I told
else.
our same family member the other day, I was like, I am proud of you that you came to the decision that you don't really want to do this and you should focus on the thing that you want to do. Because that's how you stepped out of getting burnt out before everybody else claims to get burnt out. As you came to the decision that, nah, I ain't about that. I want to do something else. And I'm like, cool. Like, there needs to be back a house team. And I think you would excel at being a producer because you're so detail oriented. I was like, you would absolutely excel at being a producer. And there's somebody that needs to produce that you align with. Like, there's some girl power advocate out there that needs you and your brain cells and your skills and your graphic design game and your understanding of content and all of the crap that you learn from us. There's somebody that needs you to take them to the next level as back of house. And I'm going to help you find it. Because I think that's cool. Paul won't admit to it, but that's where Paul's at. You know, Paul's super dope at being a producer. Fine, then stay a producer. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. I mean, producing's great. It's like its own art form.
Hey,
I'm excited for Seattle.
So, like I said, what are we paying you to come to Seattle for?
To produce.
It ain't because you're cute. Don't just say
It's to produce.
It's to produce. Because
To pull on threads, to keep
without a
things
producer,
together.
me and Daniel are dope, but me and Daniel are effed up without a producer. And like, Kate's like, I can't go, but we need a producer. I was like, turns out I know somebody. And she was like, you 100% correct. I seen her do it. And I was like, bet, get that woman a clipboard and everything will be fine.
It's over. Listen, I already, it's like, I pulled out my clipboard. I have like a whole wardrobe. I'm like, are we green? Are we red? But I don't have orange. I probably should go pick up an orange one.
There you go.
Dust it off.
There you go. Sometimes you need a producer, right?
Well, I have a clear one. I'll put an eCam sticker on it. That's what I'll do. Well, like the clipboard, like, listen, like we don't, like the clipboard is more for visuals. Like also shooting with the big camera is for the optics, right?
Yeah. Theater of the mind. Yeah.
Yes. So the clipboard, I can get to anywhere I need to go with the clipboard. It could be nothing on there.
I can't tell you how proud I am of a video that I made recently. And I don't think I said it enough that it was basically shot with an iPhone. But I shot it with an iPhone. And it's clean. It's clean as a whistle. Here, let me bring it up. It's clean as a whistle. And I was like, most people ain't gonna know that this sumbitch is shot on an iPhone. That is not the right video. Back up. Man, see, he's stupid. Go back. Why'd you do that? He over here pressing the wrong buttons. How do you go to channel dashboard? There you go. I found the button that I was looking for. He's so dumb. All right. Nope. Oh my God, he is having absolute mental problems today. You know what's messed up? I don't even remember when I shot it. How crazy is that? Oh, there it is. I got it. Now he's done. All right, he's finished being stupid. You have no idea that this is shot on an iPhone. Why? Press the right button. There's
Yeah, it
nothing.
looks great.
There's nothing about that video screen shot on an iPhone. I didn't use ProRes. I didn't use color correcting. I didn't use anything. What I did was slap a vignette on it and desaturate it because the iPhone is so strong. You know what I mean? And so look, I said shot on the iPhone just to prove you already have what you need. He's like, oh, but I want to make some cinematic. I was like, man, shut up. That's my niece right now. I want to make cinematic videos. What's cinematic? You know, cinematic. No, I don't know.
That's my favorite question.
Explain it to me. You know, like it's.
That's how I made those boys' heads cracked at NAB. What do you make? Cinematic videos, What kind of what kind of cinematic?
Yeah. Are you doing film noir? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but
I was like, I was a film major. Let's get into it. Let's go.
like, isn't that crazy though? Like, that's straight up iPhone footage, bro, and it don't even look like it. He got a large ass melon. That head is massive. All right. Emma's upstairs. I need to go feed this child. Thank you, Lou. Our weekly therapy session. Speaking of which, I have therapy in 2 days.
You gotta tell me about it.
Yeah, we'll dive in. See what the heck they.
The therapied.
When I was talking to her, she was like, how do you not know you have ADHD? I was like, I kind of knew, but like I didn't diagnose for it. She's like, how the hell did you manage this long? I was like,
As you're like singing randomly throughout your whole session.
Yeah, I got her
She's
twice.
like, yeah, so tell me about your childhood. She's like,
I got her twice, and then she did it once in the session. I was like, oh yeah, that song's on my list. Because I told her that sometimes I'm in bed and I wake up in the middle of the night with this song in my head and I can't turn it off. And it's not the whole song. It's just this one portion that just repeats in my head. I was lost to my own device. This song be in my head for days. I'm like, go away. I'm trying to go to sleep. And the walls start tumbling down on the city that we love. And then we close your eyes, better, and he knows. Oh my God, he won't stop. Kara's in the other room going, what the frick are they talking about? Yeah, it's mental. Oh, so good. Anyway, we'll catch. Be good. Oh yeah, we need to do your tickets. Hit me up after you.
That's why I'm trying to stay on here. You want to book it during the live stream?
No. The hell are these people?
Okay.
All right, I'm hanging up. Bye, people.
Thanks for
Miller's gotta
watching,
book
y'all.
Tickets. Bye.